Hamska Boomers, welcome back to another video. Today I will be reviewing the first episode of Lanterns with spoilers, so don't watch this if you haven't watched the first episode, or if you don't care, then watch it. But first guys, don't forget to subscribe and like the video and leave some comments down below with your suggestions, and let's get right into this review. The opening of the episode starts on John looking at watching a TV, or watching like Hal Jordan on TV talking about how he got the ring and what are the meanings of the ring and stuff, and him being very, very inspired by Hal and wanting to become a Green Lantern later in his life. And he's a little kid in this opening. And when his dad arrived, I was expecting the dad to be more like violent or something, or like they were making it seem like he was gonna be like this dad that's like gonna like hurt them or something. And he does something a little different, and he shoots the apple right off his head, which I thought was a little silly or funny, but it still brought the point that his dad made him a tough and fearless soldier, and I like it. It brings the point forward. And even though it's a little silly, it doesn't really matter. The main story starts in 2016 when John gets picked up by Hal Jordan, and Hal is already late, and they talk about that when he gets in the car. And I love how he says sir all the time. Sir, sir, sir. And there's a line where Hal's like, you know, every time you say sir, it sounds even more like an insult every time. And I love that line. And I love how John is not bothered at all from him being late, and he doesn't even ask why he's late. And eventually he does say why he's late. He was like partying on another planet or something for peace or something. And yeah, I just think that John and Hal's relationship is really good. They kick it off really well in this episode, and I can't wait to see them more in this season. Their relationship is so funny, and they're great. The great banter between them, and they say some funny lines, and Hal is a very hard teacher to be with. He is kind of teaching him with some tests, but he's not really teaching him at the same time. It takes a long time to get taught by him. And I love how when he jumps the car and he leaves John to find a way to this taco place, you eventually he pops out of the ring. His consciousness, his backup consciousness of Hal, pops out of his ring, and then you see how like he was completely different 10 years ago, and that was a hilarious scene. I love that scene. And you just get to see a different part of Hal and how he was 10 years ago. And then eventually that consciousness says like there's hell in Nebraska, and then we get to the taco. I like seeing all the fans for Green Lantern. That was fun. And I love the reasoning why he doesn't wear the suit anymore. It's just like literally it's too annoying to put it on, and that was really funny. And he has become kind of like a drinker, and just like, I don't really care. Like, he just seems like, I don't care, you know. I don't care really about anything, but he still cares. You can clearly see that he cares about doing his job the right way, and he knows what to do when he has to do the job. And yeah, he just looks like nonchalant, you know. Even though Hal is this way, John keeps going with this guy, and he still respects him because he's still fearless and tough, and he is Green Lantern. So I get why John would stay, and he really is dedicated to becoming a Green Lantern later down the line. I didn't love the sex scene with John. I thought it was kind of weird, and I guess it's gonna get to some. It already had like kind of a little consequence later down this episode, but it wasn't really a consequence. It was just kind of like it has something to do with another character that I'll talk later in this review, but but I just thought it was a little bit weird. But I guess I don't really know the comic books of Green Lanterns or anything, so I guess maybe John is this way in the comic books where he just sleeps with women or something. But I just found it a little weird. I did like how John does fail at some things, and Hal lets him do things, and he does train him in this pretty good way where he does fail at one point in the episode, and I thought that was good, and John realizes it. But Hal could have helped also with the situation, but he didn't help. But I understand it was John's job there, and he failed a little bit in that moment. The mystery of the show right now is there's been this shooting in a football stadium in Rushville, Nebraska, and there's these football fans that are dead on the field, and they're all trying to figure out what happened. And obviously it's aliens, and Hal already knows it, that it's going to be aliens. They're just shapeshifters, and they look like humans, and we don't know which species of alien they are yet. But I did like the interrogation scene in like the end of the episode, somewhere in the end, not the end, but like somewhere in there, in the third part of the episode. It was really suspenseful, and it was like interesting and engaging, and I really like how Hal brings some stuff out of this guy that he's interrogating, and the things he's asking this guy is hilarious. And John and the cop woman was laughing at it, and they were like, "Oh, okay, that's a little funny." And then yeah, and it ends in an explosive manner. And there's also a good chase scene right after they look at the crime scene. There's a good chase scene that I thought was fun, and good pacing on that chase scene. And then they later go to this ranch where there's this character, this guy, which John had sex with his wife earlier on in the episode, and that's where it kind of connects. And that guy's connected to like the cop and the cop's husband and all that. And he knows a lot about what's going on here, and he has like this NDA, and he can't speak about it, about his the guy that pays him or something. And he knows some stuff, and they talk with Hal and stuff, and John, and I thought that was a good part. And John, I really like this scene where John tells his little kid, like, don't think about throwing the football, just feel it and imagine it in your mind, and you'll hit the spot. You'll hit it right in the hole there. And I thought that was a good scene, and it showed again how his dad trained him as a child also. I thought that was good. I like the police officer. She was good. She was great. She has a good personality for the TV show, and it brings a third character, a good third supporting character there that remains in the show. I think she's going to be there for most of the episodes, and I think she's great. The ending of the episode jumps to 2026, and we see John coming back to Rushville and meets the police officer. I don't remember her name. I'm gonna catch it next episode. But yeah, he comes back to Rushville and meets her, and then they find Hal's body on the bleachers, same place he was sitting when he first arrived in 2016. And that leaves us on a great cliffhanger for the next episode. And I guess they're gonna run it that way, where each episode we start in 2016 and then we get a little bit 26. And I think it's gonna be that way, but it might be a different pacing for the show. I don't know. But I thought this episode was great. The ending leaves you wanting more, and the whole one thing I want to talk more about is I like the way he uses his ring in the show, where he just conjures like money or like a beer opener or like just random stuff. It's really fun. I really like that scene where he's like plays around with the police officer, and he's like Look at me, I'm so cool. That was a fun scene. That was a fun scene. But yeah, that's the last thing. Yeah, I think it was a great episode. Can't wait to see the next one. It successfully introduces our characters, the relationships, the mystery, and everything really well. And I can't wait to see the rest. You guys don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment down below if you liked this, or just suggest some random stuff. And yeah, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I got a Spotify and Apple Podcast now, and you can check out my Ko-Fi if you want to support me. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I'll have my episode 2 review soon. Bye.